This is the Pico 4. I've been testing it for almost 2 weeks now, so it's time to share my thoughts. In the box, you'll get the Pico 4 itself, 2 controllers as well as a charging brick and cable, plus some documentation. The first thing that would strike you when seeing and picking this up is how small and well balanced it feels. I wouldn't say you don't feel it on your face anymore, but it is a considerable step up from anything you've likely tried so far. The facial interface is also comfortable, but I will say that depending on your face shape, you might like it more or, well, less. The interface is pretty deep and thick. I mean, it's like half of the size of the Pico 4. For me, because I have a big melon, I kinda have to wiggle it and push my face closer to the lenses to get a comfortable viewing experience. Thankfully, this is magnetically attached, so fingers crossed that we'll get third-party options soon. I did ask VRCover on Twitter about this, and their response has got me hopeful. Moving on to the controllers, they have this very unusual shape, but there's a very good reason for that. Due to the tracking ring being more of an arch than a circle, it not only allows you to put your hands closer together, but it also makes it way harder to occlude and lose tracking when, for example, holding a gun with both hands. I have fairly large hands and was worried about the ergonomics when I first saw pictures of these, but I've gotta say they're very comfy. I would still like to have some sort of knuckles or grips, but we will probably get third-party accessories once this starts shipping to customers. While comfort is a big deal and I have to praise Pico for what they've done here, let's move on to the experience and we'll start with the visuals. The Pico 4 comes with two 2160 by 2160 LCD screens and a reported field of view of 105 degrees. And I'll talk more about the FOV a bit later in the video because I've got some interesting findings. The colors are vibrant and as you can expect from that resolution, everything is super sharp. That sharpness though is not only possible due to the displays but the optics through which we view them. So another thing that is instantly obvious is how huge the actual lenses are and how they don't have those concentric rings we've seen in other headsets. That's because they're actually pancake lenses and they're probably the biggest reason why Pico was able to make the headset so thin. They're basically immune to God rays and offer great edge-to-edge clarity. So, in terms of visual fidelity, I was impressed by the Pico's performance, both standalone and while connected to a PC. More than anything else, the clarity towards the edges of the field of view was something that really felt next-gen. The FOV seems very similar to something like a Quest 2 horizontally, but what impressed me was the vertical field of view. It just feels so much more natural and combined with the edge clarity I mentioned, it offers a great experience. Pico 4 also comes with a 16 megapixel camera on the front here that offers color pass-through capabilities. To be clear, this does not offer true AR capability since it just has a camera, and AR requires a depth sensor too. Just double tap the side of the headset to enter transparency mode and see your surroundings. The image is not super sharp and still has sort of a fisheye lens feel to it, but it's miles ahead of the pure black and white ones we've seen before. Visuals are only part of the equation, the other important one being sound. The Pico 4 comes with these built-in speakers that direct sound straight into your ears, and I've gotta say it sounds pretty great for integrated audio. The fact that the resonance chambers are larger, it packs more of a punch than you'd think and sounds very clean to me even at higher volume. The bass still isn't anything crazy, but it's not terrible either. One unfortunate aspect here is that Pico has decided to remove the 3.5mm headphone jack. That leaves us with two options for enhanced audio, either using a USB-C to 3.5mm adapter or just going with Bluetooth headphones, which can generally have latency issues. Let me know in the comments if that's important to you and I might do an extensive test of audio options. Alright, now it's time to talk gaming, which I think is likely to be one of the most common reasons you'd be looking to buy one of these. Starting with standalone VR titles, the library has grown dramatically in the past few years, and you can play titles like After the Fall, Demeo, Stride, and hundreds of well-known others right now at launch. Upcoming games like Saints and Sinners Chapter 2 have also already been confirmed too. I tried a bunch of different games on it and they all ran super smooth with no stutters at all. The visuals were great and I'm not sure if it's because it's new or it actually has faster storage, but it feels like everything loads super quickly. I have not encountered any tracking issues either, which was fantastic to see. Everything felt truly fluid and even the experience of quitting a game and moving on to the next one was quick and headache-free. In terms of battery life, it's around the 2 to 2.5 hours mark for gaming and closer to 3 hours if just browsing the web or watching YouTube. I can also confirm it works while charging, so you can plug it into an external battery while still playing if you need more juice. One gripe I do have here before we move on to the PCVR experience is that the head strap and headset are one piece. meaning there is no way to change it with a halo strap, battery strap, or any other type of strap that we might be used to seeing. It's a bummer, but I'm sure Bobo VR and others will find a creative way to give us more battery life while still keeping things nice and comfy. Moving on to the PCVR experience, there are currently two ways of connecting the Pico 4 to your PC, wired and wireless. For the wired solution, you can use any USB-C data cable to link the headset and just use the Streaming Assistant app on both your headset and your PC to connect. The wireless solution uses the same Streaming Assistant software, but here we also have the awesome virtual desktop as an option. Quality-wise, it looks and performs so much better with VD instead of the native Streaming Assistant. This is not unusual as it's the exact same for AirLink versus virtual desktop as well. In terms of differences, by using these performance charts, you can see there is pretty much no quality or latency difference between the native wired and wireless option. One thing to note here is that I am running the wireless option through a dedicated router that's in the same room as my play space, so bandwidth or signal are never an issue. Now, since we're dealing with a pair of high-resolution displays, it does mean that to stream your VR games from your PC in full resolution, you'll need a pretty beefy setup. I have an RTX 3070 in mind, so I didn't have any issues as long as I keep things reasonable within the game settings, but a good thing to have in mind. Obviously, you can lower the resolution directly from Steam VR as needed and still run it on lower-end hardware too. That means the Pico 4 is fairly future-proof as you can increase the resolution as you get better and better hardware in your rig. When it comes to the experience, in my testing so far, it has been great for PCVR gaming. The fact that it's so light and comfy really brings VR to life, and I'm honestly happy to be alive during this era of VR and see headsets becoming more and more comfortable and higher res. I still have much more testing to do, so stick around for my upcoming comparisons between the Pico 4 and the Quest 2 and leave any comments you might have down below. So finally, is the Pico 4 worth it? Well, in my opinion, it absolutely is. The software side of things has been greatly improved, the screens are very good, audio is decent, and of course, in terms of comfort, I have nothing but good things to say so far. Starting the 18th of October, the Pico 4 will be available in Europe, Japan, and South Korea, but of course you can find ways to import it to the US or any other part of the world. At its current very competitive price, it's 100% a great option to consider, and there are Amazon links to it in the description below. Using those links will directly help this channel, so thank you. Hope you enjoyed this review, ask me anything in the comments and I'll catch you soon. Cheers guys!